Now, government education projects could soon be back on track. The Departments of Education and Public Works met this week to resolve a payment dispute that halted key infrastructure work. Education owes Public Works hundreds of millions of rand, but an agreement has now been reached to move projects forward. For more on this, we are joined by Dr Vish Govender, who's the acting KZN Public Works Head of Department. Dr. Govender, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this afternoon. So exactly how much has been owed to your department by the Department of Education, and for how long?
Thank you, Katlego. Greetings to yourself and greetings to your viewers. Yes, indeed, an amount of 517 million has been owing to the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. And one would note that this matter spans decades, and it's due to bad financial management, and we inherited same as early as August when the MEC assumed responsibilities at the department, MEC Mayor. So the matter has been ongoing. We've been at talks with the Department of Education for the last 6 months in order to reach finality on the matter, and we're happy to note that last week we finally reached consensus, and an amount of 190 million has been paid over to Public Works KZN. Now, you would note, Katlego and the listeners out there, that this is not only a victory for government in a sense whereby we're able to fulfill our legal mandate, it also is a massive win and a victory for those out there that tirelessly put up tenders, come and work for government and expect payment within 30 days from invoice. We have failed dismally on those lines, and hence, under the stewardship of Honorable MEC Martin Mayer and myself, we made it clear that there will no longer be financial mismanagement. There will be financial prudent management whereby our resources can be allocated adequately to each and every contractor that's on the ground. Currently, we have 62 live projects which have been halted, and the effects of that are far-reaching, bearing in mind that these are projects whereby kids are in schools. They cover anything from balls to renovations to school maintenance and many other critical infrastructure projects that the schools are in urgent need of. And I think it's something that we've placed high on the agenda. It's something that Cabinet has also taken seriously, and hence we've now reached finality in terms of the interim payment agreements that will be given heed by the KZN Department of Public Works. And I must say, Katlego, and to the listeners out there, it's never been an easy task for myself and as an accounting officer, nor has it been easy for both MECs, as it pertains to monies that was actually not within availability for education based on the fact on the financial pressures that they face. Unfortunately, one would realize that as government, we have to put action to lip service, and hence Public Works then took that drastic measure of halting projects, and now we're able to safely say that we will be making payments to the tune of 190 million tomorrow. 57% of the monies that we're owing to Public Works have been paid. Hence, the balance will be paid in 3 installments. And Treasury is currently overseeing that entire process. So we're happy to say that this will never be an occurrence again if we continue on this trajectory, and we're hoping that education honors same. Hence, we're happy to note that Treasury will be overseeing the entire process, and this will bring a finality to decades of financial mismanagement, and shouldn't be something in the public sector.
Most certainly. I mean, you do speak of decades and that it's been of bad financial mismanagement. What do you think has changed now? What's different now in that you're able to find each other, and for the department to already have paid, 190 million rands, you say, and for some of these projects that, like you're saying, affect small children who are at schools with some of the infrastructure that they should be getting as a basic necessity? What has moved the needle forward at this point?
Definitely, and thank you for that question. The needle has moved forward purely based on sound leadership, accountability. I think we've been saying it as the KZN Department of Public Works under the stewardship of Martin Mayer, that we no longer that we as public officials, mainly myself as an accounting officer, can be catnapping. I've taken the helm from August 22nd, and one would note the first thing placed high up on my agenda was that of sound financial management. I think the needle only could shift if you have someone at the helm who's able to take bold decisions, take decisions that within the ambit of the law. And there's one beautiful thing about SA, and I think we need to say that out louder as well, that we have all the laws and all the regulations. We lack implementation. And I think the needle has moved forward because we've taken the step of saying to education, and education has heeded that call under MEC Slomuka to say that we need to work as one. We cannot have government working against each another. And I think with that, both MECs met. After both MECs met, both HODs met, and as Public Works, we created that platform together with education whereby we can allow communication, robust debate, and we put the people of KZN and the contractors first. And I think that's important in government. And I think gone are the days when one could just squander state resources. I think now there's accountability, and more so you would note, we've established an ethics and governance desk. We take consequence management quite seriously. We have zero tolerance for non-payment or financial misconduct, and history can judge us. You will note in the last 6 months, we've dismissed many individuals for same. And I think that the needle has moved forward because education has realized, together with Public Works, that no more catnapping, no more sleeping on the job, and whatever we do, we need to do it within the ambit of the law, and there needs to be accountability and strong implementation of whatever decisions we take. So again, I will bring us back to putting action to lip service.
And of course, to find those lasting and efficient solutions, you need to truly identify where the problems were. You met as the two departments. What did you identify as the key issues that led to this point?
Thank you for that, Katlego. The key issues that led to this point is the fact that there was no sound financial management in terms of monies that should have been directed towards infrastructure projects were not directed. Public Works on the other side were not innocent as well. Those that were before me dropped the ball in a sense where there was no checks and reconciliations as to what was invoiced, what was paid, and it continues to spiral out of hand to a point whereby when we took over in August, the debt was sitting at 917 million. If we were a private business, a private going concern, we would be not a going concern, we would be bankrupt. And hence, it's something that is simply purely about a public official who have no disregard for financial prudence, and hence the debt continued to increase totally to a point whereby we've crippled many contractors. We also face many legal battles because we have contractors who have been patiently waiting. And I must make mention, Katlego, that this has a ripple effect not only on contractors, but also employees who work for these contractors and businesses who supply these contractors. Now, you would note that the National Minister of Public Works, together with the Provincial Minister, wants to convert KZN into a construction site. We can only do this, Katlego, if we put our money where our mouth is and we make sure that we honor these payments. So it's definitely bad financial management and public officials who just felt that they could do as they please. Right. Zero consequence management. It escalated out of hand.
Well, we certainly do hope that going forward, we won't be finding such issues. Dr. Govender, thank you so much for your time, and we certainly do hope that the infrastructure, especially for those schools, is done timeously.